What's up? It's your boy back at it again with another video. Today, we're continuing the Werner Gunthor Part 2 technical analysis. I was originally not going to do this in two parts and just make one long video, but I got a call halfway through making a video, just as I actually started analyzing his throw. So this video is just going to be just on analyzing his throw. I already uploaded my part 1 about his career, what I think of him, and just a little glide rant for you guys, because why not? So let's actually get into his throw. I started it in the previous video. I don't know how to trim videos on this program, so it just kind of ends in some awkward silence because I was debating whether to take the call or not, but I decided to take the call because it was my coach. So let's get into this. So let's actually get into this. Will be a pretty short video because I'm just talking about his throw and just purely analyzing his technique, and there's not really too much to say on the glide, so let's get into it. So one, really like to start, as I stated in the previous video at the start, I really like this rounded back. I feel that when you start this rounded back, I feel like when you start with an arch back, you're gonna have more of a tendency to stand straight up and lose all your power, because the two things that make you throw far in the glide is, well, probably the most important thing in the glide is just staying down until you get to the finish. Now, you will rise a little just because you're driving and you're sprinting and you rise just a little bit, but you want to keep your shoulders and everything as low to the ground as possible, because that's where you get all your power. The second you stand up, you just lost everything. And he does a really good job of this. So, right here. And I really like this kick back and this rhythm. Really nice, establishing good rhythm at the start. And he does something very unique that I don't see a lot of other gliders do. Is he moves this left arm out and then keeps it there. Now, normally with gliders, you'll see them and they'll just stick their left arm straight out and just leave it back. But he opens it and uses it to help him balance a little bit more. And I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. It's obviously a good thing for him. I haven't seen that in a lot of other gliders, so it's just something to keep in mind. Want to spice up your life a little if you're a glider. Try it. It looks like kind of what rotational throwers do when they hold their left arm in the middle as they're sprinting to get a wrap. I'm pretty sure he's doing the equivalent of that, because it's helping him keep back, and then as he drives forward with his legs, his left arm comes back in, kind of like what Joe Kovacs does. And I think that shifts his weight back over his right foot. So he's in a really good stand, just amazing finish position right here. And another thing to note is driving off the heel. Never in the glide, you never want to drive back with your ball of the foot, because you're just going to jump in the air. The reason why you'd go on your heel is because it's a lot easier to stay low. Alright? That's why you drive off the heel. You'll never see any competent glider ever drive off the ball of their foot, or their toes, or the middle of their foot. It's always off the heel. And he does a great job staying down. Still is relatively down. Amazing power position. Stays back. Again, this is just a training throw, so I don't know the intensity. It's obviously not technically perfect or anything. There's little things. I mean, honestly, this is as good as it gets really in glide. So he's here, and I equate glide to javelin in many ways because they're both the only two truly linear throws, and they kind of release the same, if I'm being honest. They both don't really spend that much time on their right and really try and just get over their left and get the shot out of their hand. All right, so right here. Now, obviously, the shot, you work a little longer than the jav just because, you know, it's heavier. And, yeah, just that alone. I really like this bent knee from right here. And then he extends it. So, in the glide, you don't really want to spend much time actually rotating this right foot. You really want to actually just push over your left and then just hit a solid block. And that's another thing that is similar to javelin in many ways, because you see a lot of jav throwers, they don't actually physically like work the ground and turn because they're in spikes on a track. So you can't really turn. So they kind of just push forward, over, and up on their left side block. So he does an amazing job at that. And gets airborne, but his left foot is still grounded. Shots out of his hand. Left foot's pretty just started to rise off the ground. And then a typical block. So a glide block, you just want to stick. All right, you just want to stick. And then he keeps looking at it because he's perfectly on balance. A good way to, if you're having trouble staying in on the glide, staying in the ring, what you do is you stick it and then immediately look back and then bend the left knee, and that keeps you in the ring. So if you're having trouble staying in on the glide, that's another thing you can do. Another thing to help you stay in the ring in just any throws, just don't watch it. Do not watch it land. Because when you do that, all your weight's going to carry forward. Now, he's doing that just because he already knows he saved it. You know, he's obviously a very accomplished athlete, just a supremely, and has been doing this for many years, so he can do that without fouling. And another thing, what I really like, oops, I keep doing that. What the? Oh, okay, there we go. That was weird. Okay. Another thing he does really well is he just keeps watching the shot. Even after it leaves his hand, he still has a block, and he's still watching it with his head, and I think that's a very good thing for gliders to do. It's a little harder to do in the rotational throw. And he just stays really square. And you notice when he blocks, it's hard to see because of the camera angle, but his left arm is really wide and then goes down and then just hard in. It doesn't really stay that wide, and that's kind of similar to a jav block as well. So you notice how it's just super in and super narrow, and that really speeds up his right side, and boom, just attacks the hell out of it. And I think that's also really indicative of really good gliders, is a lot of them don't have really wide left arm blocks. They're really in, because they want to stay a little more linear. When you have a wider block, you tend to be a lot more rotational in the finish. And you don't really want to do that on the glide. You know, the glide is all about just getting to A to B as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So, that's basically it, honestly. Oh yeah, another thing with the glide, the reverse. You'll notice how he's up in the air, and that's because he doesn't really work the ground, because you really don't in the glide. You kind of just, it's not a jump, it's just, you're just pushing so hard, and then just boom, and then boom. It's not really a jump, he doesn't get that airborne. There are throwers who throw a lot more airborne than him. So, I mean, really no, it's just a beautiful throw. We'll watch it full speed. I forgot to do that at the beginning. And you'll see what I mean. Just boom, boom. That's all you need. And that's like that's like training speed for him. He goes usually way faster in comp. So yeah, that's about it. This was part 2. Hope you guys enjoyed, and see you later.